Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Bitcoin, but I'm going over TradFi markets too briefly because I think it's vitally important. If the Nasdaq is going up and to the right and S&P 500 is going up and to the right, then Bitcoin can go up and to the right. So one of the things is that looking at the sentiment in the market for the Nasdaq and the traditional financial markets, now that it's peaked up here, a lot of the bear sentiment's coming back. Personally, guys, you probably want to see more of the bear sentiment come back with Bitcoin too. So that's kind of what I've been looking for, this transfer of the sentiment for the NASDAQ to be coming down to break new lows. I'm starting to see more of that. I think that's a good signal. The signals that I'm getting with the NASDAQ, guys, is that this is going to be a trend continuation, probably, like I said, all the way into October, guys. This is the month of June. And it actually could go out a little bit farther than that, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. That's a ways out. We're in June, July, August, September, October. We're 5 months away from October, and January 7 months. So on the monthly Bollinger Bands for the NASDAQ, guys, it's going to be into correction mode. Personally, I think that's what it's in right now, and it's going to be going down. That's probably going to maybe drag Bitcoin down along with it. I know there's a little bit of decorrelation with going on it. I think the tech stocks are, though they're risk on assets and Bitcoin is a risk on asset, I guess you want to call it smart money is looking at Bitcoin as maybe a little bit too much risk. So it's not performing quite as well as maybe the NASDAQ. But the thing is that Bitcoin, in my opinion, is going to rip off its waves, and probably half the time it takes the NASDAQ, guys. So that's how I'm looking at that. The S&P 500, taking a look at this one, guys, it seems to be it's going to be more of a grind. There's a lot of underlying assets in the S&P 500, like the financials, the banks, the Russell 2000 too, small cap stocks, and it's going to be more of a grind. So they have more, the S&P 500 has more weight in it towards the assets that are not performing as well than the NASDAQ, guys. So the question remains, if the NASDAQ is going from after a correction from here to here and then up into this area, box area, or maybe even a little bit higher, potentially, what's that going to do with Bitcoin, guys? Is Bitcoin going to rip off another wave? And that's what I'm kind of trying to ascertain too. So here's Bitcoin on the monthly chart and longer term time frames. On the monthly chart, guys, you look at this. I mean, it hasn't really done much, looking at the fear of greed index, it's still at neutral, guys. I mean, in this area right here on Bitcoin, do you see this candle right here back in September 21? I mean, fear came into the market, like right here, big time. And we still don't have the fear over here in the market, guys. You really want to see it go up into this wave, and the fear and greed, you want to see it come back down into fear, guys, before it starts getting off another wave. Okay. So a little bit more selling, in my opinion, on Bitcoin, guys, is really what you want to see. I do not think Bitcoin's going to be ripping off a wave from right there, guys. I could be wrong about that. I'm ready to play either way. I'm prepared for either way because it's the markets. It's got to get ready for either this or it could come back down this way, guys. So you have to be prepared for both. And I know that's the answer nobody wants to hear, but really that's the reality of it. And the preparation for Bitcoin in the crypto market really should have been down in this area, guys, okay? Down in this area where very few people were willing to listen to me, and the sentiment was it's going down to 10K. And in this area, you really want the sentiment to come back. It's going back down to 10K. You really want to see that, okay? It'll make a lot of sense if that happens and then it turns around and goes back up, and you look in hindsight, you'll see like, oh, now I see what this guy's talking about, okay? So off the sentiment in Bitcoin is really what you want to see. Now, I was going over some stuff with some people on Twitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the bigger ones: Algorand, Cardano, Polkadot, and maybe XRP. Because I'm thinking here. So let's go over to the NASDAQ, guys. Okay, so the NASDAQ is in, let's call it, because this is going to matter for Bitcoin. This is important. The NASDAQ is so there's people that have belief that that's the low and it's in a new bull trend. There's the bears, the perma bears that believe this is the top and it's going, make another leg like this over here and it's coming back down here. I'm not in either camp until we see more data. All I knew for the Nasdaq to come down in this leg, I knew there's going to be a trend this way. Whether it's a new bull trend or a counter trend move remains to be seen. I'm of the belief it's more of a counter trend move. I went over this in previous videos till proven otherwise. Just because if you look at the rest, if it was a full-blown bull market, I think the S&P 500 wouldn't be as stagnant as it is right now. The Russell 2000, the small cap, the financials, maybe they're bottoming out and they're going to trail behind a little bit, but it remains to be seen what's going to be going on with that. But what I'm saying is that there's no conclusive proof that this is the bottom, and this could be a counter trend move up here, and the Nasdaq could come back down over here, have a crash that won't even break that low, and this whole area will be a connector. The Nasdaq is notorious for making this type of move. Okay, whether you want to call it a second wave or whatever kind of wave you want to call it, rather than your traditional A, B, C move like this. So what I'm saying is, I'll go over this real brief. Instead of doing your traditional move, A, B, C move like that, the Nasdaq, if you look at the history of it, it is notorious for making moves like this. And then this whole thing is a correction coming down to that low, making some people think this is a 1-2 and it's a no bull trend when this whole thing is a correction, kind of like it did over here, back down, went up into a 3-way move for a year and a half, and then back down over here, guys. That's really how the Nasdaq likes to make its moves. Okay. One of the reasons for that is because it's in the tech sector, obviously, and you have all the tech stocks, AI, all that other stuff, the future of the world, if you will, going forward. And it's just bullish, guys. That's the future. That's why it's making those moves like that. Okay. It's a future, and it's a very bullish indice. It's going to be going up and to the right, in my opinion, for years and years to come. You're just in the midst of this right now. And 10 years from now, this probably will be a lot higher, in my opinion, guys. Contrary to what's going on in the news and the media right now. And it's, the end of the world, videos are out, all that stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about. So it's going to be doing that. Okay. Now, if it's making this counter trend move like this with Bitcoin, is there, I'm going to say this. I don't think Bitcoin is going to go quite as high as people believe it's going to. It's a very illiquid market right now. There's not a liquidity in the cryptocurrency market. It's all over there in the tech stocks for the most part. And I don't know. I'm not really convinced that, all this liquidity is going to come flooding back into Bitcoin to make these massive moves that people think that it could. I could be wrong about this, but there's a massive supply zone up here on the monthly chart for Bitcoin, which is right in that 48,000 area, which is definitely a target in its next wave run. Or is this thing going to just rip off up to, I have targets of 55 and up to 60K and 60K area for Bitcoin, guys. And I was explaining this on Twitter, where the other assets. So let me go over Cardano too. The Cardano, here's a monthly chart on Cardano, guys, is that, the targets that I'm getting for Cardano in the next potential wave run is just right in the same area, near all-time highs, maybe just a little bit above. It'll probably be a wick like this. So a lot of people will miss it, but that's like a 90%. That went up 90% on that monthly wick and up into those areas, guys, to make this type of pattern that it's doing right here. The charts are kind of singing the same tune. I was going over Algorand. Algorand is an interesting case. If you're very bullish on Algorand, I mean, there's no doubt that, hey, you're buying the bottom on Algorand. As long as it doesn't break this low at 10 cents, there could be a massive move over there potentially. I'm going to look a little bit more into Algorand. A lot of people are really bullish on the project. And I want to look at the tokenomics and supply issues, if they have any. What have they been doing just to check this out? Because this could be an opportunity, because you take a look at Cardano in its wave over here, guys. You see this massive wave that it did. And then you can see on the monthly chart that it came down and it tested. So its low over here was 0.0178 cents. And then it came down to 0.0184 cents. And then you can see what happened next. So is that going to be happening over here with Algorand? There's a good shot it could be. That is a diagonal. That's a wedge type move that it made. And it could have a strong wave over there. Maybe it's going to be Algorand's time to shine, outperform from the older cryptos, if you will. outshine the other cryptos like Cardano, Polkadot, things like that. Polkadot's the same thing, guys. Polkadot is a coin here on the monthly chart that the realistic targets for this is up into the $45-50 range up in this area. So Polkadot has a fair value gap right here. It has a massive monthly supply zone right up into there. And, these are definitely going to be resistance areas and right there and then up into this area. But nothing is pointing towards a massive run over here, guys. That's not what anything's suggesting, that these are going to be pulling off 10, 20x moves in this next possible wave. Like I said, I could be wrong about that. I'm talking about this wave. So I'm talking about medium term. I'm not talking about 2025, 2026, 2027. I'm not talking about anything like that, guys. So what's the other coin I was going to be looking at? XRP is the same thing, guys. I don't have the full chart on XRP, but, I made some videos on XRP over here, guys, is that it was a $2, what was the zone? The $2, like right in this area. Right in that area. Okay, so there's a massive supply zone. They all have this massive supply zone. XRP actually looks pretty darn good. This whole area right here, like this, it reminds me of this area over here. So XRP, all the charts are pointing towards a run, like just a run like up to here as an example, if perhaps that is going to happen. And that's pretty much about it. And same thing with Bitcoin, guys. So that's just what it's looking like to me with everything. Here's GBTC. GBTC saying the same thing. This monthly supply zone here and then up to here. And I do have the targets for GBTC to hit between 38 and 52, I think is what my numbers are. And 38 is up here to 52, up to near to these highs, a potential move like that, guys. Okay. And if that's all that GBTC is going to do until it has another downtrend over here, is when GBTC was at 48 or 49 is when Bitcoin was at 69. And this is going to go along with Bitcoin. So, like I said, guys, that's just kind of how I'm seeing it, man. I don't want to more realistic terms there. Go over quant. Let me go down to cancel. Let me go down to a daily chart. I went over this briefly, as you can see on the moving averages play with quant. It's probably going to go up and hit that 122 at that 200 period moving average on quant, guys. And what I said in my previous videos, probably come down, hit that fair value gap. Okay, back down there and boom, and make another run over there for a long trade. Okay, so like I said in the previous videos, you see this 9-period moving average. If it comes up above the 40 right there, and you have a good touch up here, it's going to come back down to the 40 or to the 21. Rest on there, because by the time it gets over here, this will be up over here, and this probably be up over here too. And there'll be another one over here. Is it going full-blown bullish yet? Don't know yet, guys. It still has proving to do, but it does have a good signal off the bottom right there. It could be a counter trend rally. Okay. So that's how I'm looking at that too. So the underlying assets. So there's some assets I'm looking at too, guys, that as far as more of a high-risk play with good setups, like GLQ or GraphLink right in here, guys. For this coin on the daily chart, I told you I'm bullish on this coin right here on the monthly. So yeah, I'm checking these out. I think that these coins right here, guys, are going to be able to, rip off a serious. So November, it's over here. It has a series. Let me see what kind of drop this is. Yeah, 83% drop. So I'm going to see if it's going to bust through this gap right here and then come back down to that one at 0.005, guys, on the on GraphLink right here. So this one you can see with the moving averages is attempting to go bullish again potentially. And I think some of these coins, like I said, not financial advice. A coin like this is going to be able to, if Bitcoin is going to rip off a wave potentially, then these will be able to rip off a serious wave, guys. So it's going to be a patient waiting game for the rest of the month of June, in my opinion. That Bitcoin is going to be grinding down. So bore a lot of people out of the market. What's the other one I was looking at too that I showed you guys? Let me go through my list here. Want to look at too. I showed you guys that one. Shield Protocol, it's doing a pretty good dump. That was a wick all the way down. It made a wick all the way down to $1.41. I'm not in this one yet, guys. I'm still checking it out. Still trying to make a decision on this one right here. I would like to see more of a dump on this coin. It's 40, more like 50, 60%. It might come back down to this demand zone right here, guys. It's got a nice demand zone right there. Okay. It might come down to that. So that's about $1 would be a really, really nice target for Shield Protocol. Like I said, do your own research in these coins, guys. But these will be better, in my opinion, just looking at the market. These are going to be better coins to rip off a pretty significant wave or have a higher probability chance of doing that, a massive wave, than some of these other assets I think that are going to be struggling, like Polkadot. I could be wrong about that, but just making some changes into that. I'm still like looking at Caspa. It's still okay. It's still okay. It's not, you want to see a higher low on Caspa. You can see with Caspa right here, those moving averages, you can see the 9 is flattening out, start making a curve back up, see what it's going to do over there. Okay. With Caspa. Another coin. Let me see. What is this one? Gamers coin is another one to look at too, guys. It's actually on its own little deal right here. It's ripping off a wave over here. Massive correction to a demand zone over here. Ripped off a wave over here. So that's another one to be checking out too in the gaming sector, guys. Okay, with a really decent setup. I mean, this is bullish. You can see up into a wave back in 3. A very long correction for a coin like this. That's a real long 207, 208 day correction. Okay. It's pretty obvious. Up in 5, back in 3, and it's looking very impulsive over there. It's not giving off signals though in the volume that it's impulsive. It could be doing a 3-wave swing back up. So still just paying attention to that one right there, guys. I thought there was another coin I was looking at on top of my head. I don't have, I guess. Oh, XPnet. XPnet is another one. Like I said, do your own research into these coins, guys. But this one, it's got the 9 crossing above. It's above the 21 and just crossed through the 40, which is a really good signal on the daily chart. Last time I did it was down here and went on this run. It's correcting and it's all the way back down here. XPnet did a pretty decent correction from, let's go with candle bodies, 4th of May, all the way back down here. 46%. Massive demand zone right there too that it came down to right in that area and stayed in that area for a little while. So another one, definitely XP network. Check that one out, guys. It's pretty decent. These are the only coins I'm finding that have decent setups, guys. They're very, very difficult to find right now. So Vulcan Forge is another one that people have been asking about, guys. Here's the deal with Vulcan Forge. It really needs to break this whole trend that it's on right here. So this is still technically in a downtrend, consolidating and stuff. I'm just waiting for it to get up above there, guys. I don't think this is not going to do anything or move until the gaming sector moves. It's going to go with it. So there's like coins that are, all like if Bitcoin goes up, then Ethereum can go up, and then Polkadot will go up, and all the other main cryptocurrencies will go up with it. But then you have other smaller cryptos that are kind of underneath the current, if you will, that are kind of just doing their own thing. Okay, like Shield Protocol, GraphLink, things like that. So those are the ones that I'm kind of looking at right now, guys, that I think have potential to make moves, even when Bitcoin maybe go in a downtrend. That's a potential too. So trying to change the strategy a little bit for me. I'm not saying that I'm not bullish on the other coins I've been in. Nakamoto Games, very bullish on that as an example. Going through the list, I'm not really too hip with Near Protocol right now. Near Protocols, it went up in this wave to come back down to test it. it's probably coming down to that fair value gap, and it's going to hit right where my box is at $1.48 is kind of what I'm expecting to get for near protocol to get down there, guys. But, not a lot of users are going over near protocol. They're kind of just, it's kind of a boring little chain right over there, guys. If you look at the stats on it, so I'm looking at that. Render coin, I was in a short on render coin, 270, exit out at 243. A reason why is I just look at this demand zone that it came down that I found on render coin. It came down and tagged it twice. And does render have more upside? It could, but I think if it gets up to this supply zone again, then you're gonna be looking at more of a downtrend on render coin, guys. That's how I'm looking at that. So it's in the middle right now. It could bounce back up and then come back through here. And if it breaks through this demand zone, then that becomes, instead of support, it'll become resistance. So, but still on the daily, it's in a bullish trend. It's still bullish technically if you're looking at everything here with the moving averages and all the other indicators. It shows that it's bullish. Here's Shield Protocol doing a dump. Okay. It's probably going to dump to the 40. That's what it's done in the past. Dump to the 40 there, 27th March, dump to the 40 right there. On 15 April, dump to the 40 right there. And now it looks like it's going to be dumping, probably get down to these areas, guys. Like I said, there is a nice demand zone. It could have a wick down to $6 or something like that is what I'd be checking out with Shield Protocol, guys. So that's kind of what I want to see. I want to see this dump get down there, guys. Don't think it's going to make it down to the 200, but you never know with a crypto like this. Anyhow, I wanted to go over that, present that information, guys, that I was looking at. Looking at Ethereum too, guys. Like Ethereum is it seems like Ethereum wants to go sideways. There's a potential for the downside to like a 16 potentially, but it's like it wants to go sideways for a while. And one of the reasons there's a potential for that is just because of Ethereum's whole, support that it has back here. And then it made this wave and it has all this support back here. And you can see on the moving averages for Ethereum where the 9's above the 21 and the 21's above the 40, giving you that look where it wants to go bullish like so. Okay. And then also too, I wanted to say about Ethereum is looking like for potential move to the upside is actually looking better than Bitcoin. I'm not saying that Ethereum is going to take over Bitcoin, but there's definitely something going on with Ethereum that I can't quite put my fingers on yet. And for this box target is that low end of 5,500 on Ethereum, guys. And then I do think that there's a good shot that Ethereum is in this pattern. One last little hoorah up, and then there's going to be a massive correction after it gets up there, guys. If that's the potential, what it's doing. I know it's taking its time. It's boring people out of the market. Some people won't be able to believe that it's going to be going up to there. And they have a good argument for that. I listen to bears all the time and listen to their argument, and they, some of them are pretty smart. They do have a pretty decent argument, but as it stands right now with Ethereum is, how long is it going to take to get over there? Remains to be seen. Is what it's looking like it's going to be doing for the most part. It seems to be higher probability once you rip off that. So, but with Ethereum, it has like deflation. It's deflationary right now. Last time I checked, it was deflationary. It's like less than almost 1% deflation, 0.083 or something that I saw. The people that are in Ethereum are going to stake their Ethereum. It's going to help Ethereum. So maybe there's a blast for Ethereum where Bitcoin is not going to break all-time highs, and Ethereum will just reach up there and break those all-time highs, guys, which would be good for the some of the altcoins in the crypto market. So, it remains to be seen that Ethereum has a lot of support through here, like this wave up here and back down, and then over in this area. It's not putting off bearish signals to make this trek down here. It's just not. It's not. It's putting off better signals that is in a correction, and it wants to do a trend continuation. And maybe it's just going to be a grind. Maybe it's not going to do this type of move, in this area, and you come back down to here, and then it's just going to kind of grind up there. This will be a massive resistance. It's already tested it. Is it going to bust through there and get through there and just grind all the way back up here like this? And that's that. So the reason it could do that is one of the reasons it could do something like that and not do your traditional, hey, moonshot, blast up, one of moves like this or move like that is because maybe that is a fifth wave of Ethereum. Here's a wave one, and maybe this whole thing's a two or something like that. And then over here's a three, and it's back down, and it's doing one of these fifth wave grinds where if you ever seen a fifth wave in some assets where at the very end, I'll show you as an example. I'm going to go right over here, guys. Okay. And what you have is you have a move, right? You have a one, a two, a three, a four, and then a five, like so. Okay. And let me put the wave back on. And then the last fifth wave is like a diagonal type. It's in a diagonal type move, and it just wants to end it like that, something like that. And then it gets in there, comes back down, gets into this, and it just starts grinding in there, and just grinds and grinds and grinds and grinds and grinds like that, guys. But the wave one is usually the most dynamic in that type of pattern. Two, and a wave three is pretty dynamic, comes back down for a four, and then you might have pretty decent wave, and then it just starts grind. And maybe Ethereum is doing something like that over here, and it just wants to do out of this wave pattern that it's doing is just make a grind, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then grind, just a grind back all the way back up into that area, guys. I mean, you have a good shot of that. You can't rule that out. You can't rule that out by any means, guys. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And in the meantime, there's going to be a long drawn out correction in this area, guys, I think up until the middle of June, end of June, and it could go as far as July, the beginning of July, guys. So it's going to be a patient waiting game. For those that are patient, I think the reward is going to be substantial if Ethereum can make that move for those that are going to be patient. So most of the people, I think not most, but a lot of people are going to walk away from the market, guys, probably at the wrong time. It's usually how it goes. Think about that realistically. You're probably thinking about walking away from this market right now too. I mean, if you're honest with yourself, you're like, this is getting crazy, man. It's like not doing anything. I'm not making not much money. There's not really, unless you really played it right, starting in June of 22 and then, played some of these waves, the Quant, the Matic, some other coins that did really, really well. Even Bitcoin from the bottom did pretty well, but there's a lot of people that are in this market right now that it's gone sideways. Like you take a look at Ethereum from January of 18 and all the way over here to April of 23, that's 5 years that Ethereum's gone sideways. So, you can look at it like that too. Hasn't really made much of a move, but that's what could happen with a lot of participants in the market that could leave the market, and that could explain too less liquidity, and then Ethereum comes to this trend or something 1700, and then it just grinds up. And it doesn't, there might be maybe in the middle a dynamic wave, and it comes back down and then keeps grinding back up like that, guys. I mean, that's a good possibility. I don't hope it does. I don't want it to do that. I just want it to, rip off the wave, be done with it, come down and correct. But, expect the unexpected with cryptocurrency. If you made all the way to the end, do me a huge favor. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.